on account of the death of your late father, who was a very good friend of ours. Making a wonderful contribution. Who had been here not so long ago. We are very sorry that he died when he was still making a wonderful contribution to humanity. Secondly, I will welcome you here to Uganda and your members of your family, especially coming on this occasion of commissioning the university. Most welcome. Thirdly, it seems the prayers of the Ismailians are stronger than the other prayers, because you brought rain. We've been waiting for rain. And I have been quietly praying, but it seems the Ismailians, their prayers may be stronger. Yesterday, I told His Highness of my first experience with the Ismailians in Ntungamo, my area there. We had a few Indian shops. We call all of you Indians. We don't know the difference. Wahindi, 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 Wahindi. We had 4 Indian shops in Ntungamo. Apparently they were all Ismailians. Now those Indians used to hang pictures in their shops. I told him yesterday. There were pictures of 3 people. Queen Elizabeth was on top, because we were under the British Empire at that time. Then, on the right, there was an old man, an Asian old man. That time I didn't know who he was. And then on the left, we had our king, the king of that area, Mugabe. Now in 1957, we were told they changed the picture of the old Asian man, and they put a new young boy there. You could see from his face that he was young. And they said, this is the new king of the Indians. And this was His Highness the Aga Khan. At that time we thought all the Indians were all Ismailis. So that's when I started knowing about the Aga Khan, Ismailis, and so on. And when I came in the government here, I started working closely with him. I therefore want to salute the Aga Khan community for really being development-oriented. In 1959, when I left my small village, where we had our 4 Indian shops and 2 Arabs. I went to the district town of our area, Mbarara. This was in 1959. And there was a big secondary school there called Aga Khan Secondary School for children of the Asians, but also other children were going there. That place is quite far from Kampala. It's like 200 miles. But at that time, 1959, there was already an Aga Khan secondary school. I think it was the junior secondary school or something like that. And then when I came to Kampala here, there is a big school, I don't know that it's still there, in the Mengo area, called Aga Khan Secondary School. Is it still there? Big school there, Aga Khan Secondary School. And then other projects. Now, as I told His Highness yesterday, there was some setback in the 1960s caused by policy confusion. In the anti-colonial movement, there was some confusion about the role of the private sector. Some of the anti-colonial fighters were thinking that private sector was linked to colonialism. So if you wanted independence, the government must control the economy. And that's how our governments here in East Africa, especially here and some other places, disrupted your programs. I remember that building I don't know whether it is still there, the IPS building in the center of Kampala there. And in Dar es Salaam, very, very nice building of that time. But some of those properties were taken over by the governments of our area here. It was called nationalization. In Swahili, they were calling it kutaifisha. The good thing, as I told His Highness yesterday, is that some of us from 1960, more or less, continuously, we have been part of the struggle for Africa's independence. So, when we studied more, we found that there was a mistake in the thinking. Because it is true that the anti-colonial fighters yearned for independence and for strength. But how do you become strong? You cannot be strong if you don't have a strong economy. And then the question is, who can help you build a strong economy? And that's how, by I think around 1975, we were now clear, I was clear myself, that there was really no problem with the private sector, that the private sector is the one which can help you to be stronger to have a strong economy at a low cost without spending so much. The private sector are able to do a lot of work for the country at their own cost and with their own supervision and more innovation, so that our full potential is fully utilized. Therefore, by the time we came into government in 1986, that confusion was clear in our heads. It was clear that private sector, yes, you could have some parastatals here and there. We still have some, like the National Water Corporation and so on, but we privatized much of the economy. So therefore, that's how when we resumed our relationship with His Highness, it was with that clear vision. We returned all these properties of the private citizens, which had been taken over by the government, but also the properties of the institutions, like the Aga Khan. So where we stand today, I want to assure His Highness and everybody concerned that on the policy side, the freedom fighters in Africa are now clear. And the good thing is that some of us had good authority. Because what Africans don't like are puppets of foreign interests. If they think you are a puppet of foreign interests, they will not be happy with you, because puppets have caused a lot of problems here. But that was the advantage we had. Everybody knew our history, who we are, and when I gave you the speech which I gave in Parliament here, when we were really having a strong argument about the way forward. What do we do? Is this good? Is this bad? And everybody is now clear that private sector is the correct way of building an economy. The government can come in here and there, but the main effort should be by the private sector. So therefore now, the investment climate in Uganda is good. There's some corruption, be careful there. And the weakness is that the investors don't report these corrupt people. I normally find out myself later on. So the investors, please, expose these corrupt people. The ones who want money from you. The ones who want shares in companies for which they don't have any contribution, expose them. Otherwise, we are ready and we can work very well together. We are also working with our brothers in Africa on the issue of market integration. Because you cannot have economy or production without market. Where do you sell your products? For a long time, we have been struggling with the issue of market integration, and we are really moving. There are still some problems, but they will be overcome, because logic is on the side of rationalization. And part of the rationalization includes market integration in Africa. So therefore, I'm very happy to be here with Mama and with His Highness to commission this university center. Congratulations, Aga Khan, and I thank you for building this world-class center where the classrooms are digitally connected and they are using high tech for education, so that you don't have to do all the other manual things we used to do in the past. We are also happy about launching the hospital, which we groundbreaking, which we will start building. That will also help. Will also help in health care. Even whenever I would be in Tanzania or Kenya, I would hear. I never went there, but I used to hear Aga Khan Hospital, Aga Khan Hospital, Aga Khan Hospital. Even now, many Ugandans go to Nairobi in the Aga Khan Hospital. So I thank you and congratulate you for those two institutions, the university and the hospital. I want to thank the Germans. I didn't know the Germans were involved. Germans, bravo, thank you so much. On the issue of health care, I want to inform you and the world that our people here are beginning to make a good contribution to humanity. What, of course, many people don't remember is that the human beings have been here for the last 4.5 million years. And these human beings started here in Africa. So all you people, Asians, Europeans, Chinese, whatever, you are all former Africans. I always regard you as African diaspora. Now, what you had missed is that, so you are the diaspora, we are the stayees who stayed here. Now, we the stayees had a lot of, this place here, you can see the climate is good for the human being, much better than many parts of the world. When I'm in Europe, really, it's very miserable there. Very cold, very what. Whenever I go there, I want to come back quickly. But this climate has also been good for our enemies. Good for us, but also for our enemies. The mosquitoes, the tsetse flies, the bacteria. That's why originally you, the diaspora, multiplied more than we, the stayees. Until recently, population of the whole of Africa has been smaller than the population of India. India has been having a population of about 1.4 billion people, but until recently, the total population of Africa was fewer than the population of India. Yet Africa is 12 times bigger than India. You can fit India into Africa 12 times, but yet they had a bigger population. We have now overtaken India for the first time. We are now 1.5 billion, and in the next 30 years, we shall be 2.5 billion. We shall be a quarter of the human race. Now, this is because, at last, we have been able to control our enemies here. The mosquitoes, the tsetse flies, the bacteria, which were inhibiting the increase of the population here. But in that time, 4.5 million years, we have got a lot of knowledge about human health, which outsiders did not know. And when the Europeans came here, they came with a lot of arrogance. They sort of suppressed our great knowledge. But now, we have come up now, our scientists are coming up, and we are discovering a lot of solutions for human health. Our people seem to have discovered medicine for diabetes for the first time, where diabetes can be cured for the first time. Diabetes has been a big problem for humanity. Our people seem to have discovered medicine for cancer, all these cancers which have been causing problems. Our people seem to have found medicine for malaria, in addition to the quinine, which was found long, long ago in South America. Our people now have a solution different from quinine to malaria. Even myself, I know quite a number of solutions for human health, and I've been encouraging the government to take them up. So therefore, since you are interested in health, I thought I should let you know that. If you want, we can cooperate on that side also, if you are interested in that area of this indigenous knowledge, working on it to turn it into modern forms which can help the whole of humanity, and do it cheaply and decisively, not this one being on drugs all the time, so that you get a total recovery from those sicknesses. Now finally, I would like to, I don't know whether watu wangu wako wapi? Wenye zawadi, wenye nishani wako wapi? When our late brother, His Highness Khan, was here, I gave him medals. I would now like to give similar medals to His Highness. And I now call Mwache Zaha, you go on the microphone and make citation on how we should give medal to His Highness and members of the family. Thank you, I thank you and wish you good luck.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. The Secretary of the Presidential Awards Committee, Hajat Zamina Maloli, will take us into the next part of the program.
Your Excellency, the President of the Republic of Uganda, His Highness Prince Rahim Al-Husseini Aga Khan V, Her Highness Princess Zahra Aga Khan, the First Lady and Minister of Education and Sports, the Deputy Speaker of Parliament, the Third Right Honorable Prime Minister, the cabinet ministers present, the ambassador of Germany, the vice chancellor of the Aga Khan University, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. On today's occasion of inaugurating the Aga Khan University academic facilities and the commencement ceremony of the Aga Khan University Hospital, Kampala campus, in accordance with Section 3 of the National Honors and Awards Act, CAP 173, His Excellency, the President of the Republic of Uganda, is pleased to award His Highness Prince Rahim Aga Khan V and Princess Zahra Aga Khan during this auspicious occasion medals of honor. To present the citation for the awardees is I, Hajat Malole Zamina, the Chancellor and Secretary to the Presidential Awards Committee. The medals are in the category of civilian decorations and medals as follows. The Most Excellent Order of the Pearl of Africa, the Grand Master, and the Excellent Order of the Pearl of Africa, the Grand Commander. The two distinguished personalities to be awarded and bestowed with honors today were duly acknowledged by the Presidential Awards Committee, chaired by Honorable Dr. Beatrice Wabdea, under the aegis of Honorable Mide Babalanda, the Minister for Presidency. And now, the award for the Most Excellent Order of the Pearl of Africa, the Grand Master. The award goes to His Highness Prince Rahim Aga Khan V, and in accordance to Section 3 of the National Honors and Awards Act, CAP 173, this is the highest honor to be awarded to a person for his or her invaluable support to the Republic of Uganda. And therefore, on this day, the 11th of September of 2025, His Excellency, the President of the Republic of Uganda, confers the highest honor onto His Highness Prince Rahim Aga Khan V, the Most Excellent Order of the Pearl of Africa, the Grand Master. His Highness Prince Rahim Aga Khan V is the spiritual leader of the Shia Ismail Muslim community and is the chairperson of the Aga Khan Development Network, and is also the Chancellor of the Aga Khan University situated here in Kampala. He has been actively involved for over 25 years in the development work in Uganda through his leadership role. The network operates significant social development initiatives covering healthcare, education, poverty alleviation, climate resilience, and environmental conservation, alongside a portfolio of economic development projects which include banking, media, industrial promotion, infrastructure, development, and tourism. Since the 1980s, under the direction of his father, the late Karim Aga Khan IV, His Highness Prince Rahim Aga Khan has continued with his legacy and devotion to serve humanity through direct involvement in various sectors globally. Particularly in Uganda, His Highness, through the Aga Khan Development Network, has extended various services to the people of Uganda. So wait. His Highness Prince Rahim Aga Khan is an advocate of the marginalized and underserved communities. He has played an influential role in development programs geared towards climate resilience, environmental conservation, and as a founding chairman of the Climate and Environmental Committee, His Highness has spearheaded environmental stewardship policies and best practices, making climate resilience a central and cross-cutting theme for the network. The transformational climate work being done in Uganda and elsewhere includes educating young future leaders about climate resilience, investing in renewable energy, nature-based solutions, and pursuing established benchmarks for decarbonization. His personal engagement in the area of education and health has made significant impact on human and capital development for the people of Uganda and the wider international community. He has encouraged sharing of knowledge and experience within and beyond the Aga Khan Development Network across Africa. As Chancellor of the Aga Khan University, His Highness is overseeing the development of the Aga Khan University Hospital in Kampala, which will transform the healthcare services and improve access to quality education nationally and regionally. His Highness Prince Rahim's leadership and professional engagement has greatly reinforced the Aga Khan Development Network's initiatives for renewable energy, sustainable tourism, digitally financial-driven internet access, pharmaceutical manufacturing, among others. His Highness Aga Khan, through the Aga Khan Fund for Economic Development, played a central role by investing in pharmaceutical industries and co-development of the Bujagali hydropower plant, which is a significant infrastructure development that has increased Uganda's energy supply. In line with Uganda transitioning to the digital age, His Highness was influential in commissioning the Seacom submarine cable, which linked East African countries to the international submarine cable network for the first time, therefore propelling internet access in Uganda. Under the stewardship of His Highness, the Aga Khan Development Network has made profound and lasting impact on Uganda's socio-economic transformation, where his personal commitment has ensured a sustained focus on fragile contexts in which the network strives with its partners to foster peace, development, and opportunity, which are in tandem with the Uganda's Vision 24 and core aspirations. Therefore, in line with the National Honors and Awards Act Cap 173, His Excellency the President of the Republic of Uganda bestows upon His Highness Prince Rahim Aga Khan V with the title of honor of the Most Excellent Order of the Pearl of Africa, the Grand Master, for his outstanding dedication, invaluable support, and contribution to the development of the Republic of Uganda. For God and my country, I submit. May I now request the Chancellery team to move forward and step in the arena of the investiture for His Excellency the President to decorate His Highness with the highest honor of this country, which is the most excellent order of the Pearl of Africa, Grand Master. And now, with your permission, allow me, His Excellency, to move on to the second award. In accordance with Section 3 of the National Honors and Awards Act, on this day, 11th of September 2025, pursuant to Section 3 of the National Honors and Awards Act, His Excellency would wish to award the Excellent Order of the Pearl of Africa, the Grand Commander Medal, to Prince Zahra Aga Khan. Prince Zahra Aga Khan has dedicated many years of service towards providing access to quality health care and education services for the people of Uganda and other parts of the world. Through her stewardship of social development programs within the Aga Khan Development Network, she has led the expansion in the East Africa of Aga Khan Health Services, Aga Khan Education Services, Aga Khan University. Today, many of the African countries are afforded access to healthcare and education services of a world-class standard through these institutions. Princess Zahra is a renowned global advocate for improving maternal health and child care. Through the Aga Khan University School of Nursing, Uganda gains access to well-qualified nurses, midwives, that provide essential care, contribute to policy reform, and strengthen national health care systems. The Aga Khan Development Network actively partners with the government of Uganda and other institutions to develop localized programs to coordinate responses to the country's education and health care requirements. In addition to her development initiatives and work in the health sector, Princess Zahra also oversees the Aga Khan Development Network's education programs in Uganda, spearheading investments in teacher training, curriculum development, and school infrastructure to equip Ugandan youth with skills and knowledge to become young leaders for today and future leaders of tomorrow. Under her leadership, over 500 nurses and health workers have graduated from the Aga Khan University School of Nursing and Midwifery, strengthening the public health sector in Uganda, and directly addressing the need of child and maternal care. Princess Zahara oversees the Aga Khan Education Service, which operates 4 schools in Kampala that educate over 2,000 learners annually and employ over 150 teaching staff. Princess Zahara has also been instrumental in the development of the Aga Khan Institute for the Educational Development, which has supported the training of teachers and the development of education systems in Uganda, and the Institute of Human Development, which has been a lead in the development of early childhood programs and practices across East Africa. At the Aga Khan University, Princess Zahara has demonstrated strong commitment to advancing research and education in critical areas such as climate change, mental health, medicine, and ensuring the development of young leaders that are prepared and equipped to meet the future challenges and needs of the local population and global population. Therefore, in line with the National Honors and Awards Act, CAP 173, His Excellency the President of the Republic of Uganda bestows upon Princess Zahara Aga Khan the title of honor of the Excellent Order of the Pearl of Africa, the Grand Commander, for her dedication to providing access to quality education and healthcare services to the people of the Republic of Uganda. We submit for God and my country. Thank you so much, Your Excellency, for presiding over the special investor ceremony for the distinguished persons we have had this afternoon, our guests, that is His Highness Prince Rahim Aga Khan V and Her Highness Princess Zahara Aga Khan. For God and my country, I submit.
Thank you very much for that, Ayad Malole. Ladies and gentlemen, this concludes our ceremonies. We thank you so very much for joining us both here and for those of you who have stayed with us online. Thank you very much. At this point, we kindly request that we all stand for the playing of the national anthem as well as the East African anthem. Following the anthems, we request that the audience take your seats as our distinguished guests depart.
Ladies and gentlemen, please remain seated until our distinguished guests have departed.
As they depart, you will see that pleasantries are being shared on stage. There will be hopefully a photo opportunity in which the moment will be captured. And as they share pleasantries, we want to thank everybody who has been with us, despite the change of the weather. You have stayed with us, and we do appreciate that very much. To our online audience, Asanteni Sana, thank you so very much for being with us from across the world. We know we have had friends from Pakistan, our colleagues in Nairobi, Kenya, Uganda, as well as the UK have been joining us during this event. We have others from the US, Australia, Canada, the US by itself, and from various other countries. Ladies and gentlemen, we can see His Excellency leading the entourage out. Let us please stand as they leave. Recognizing that today His Highness has been awarded the highest civilian award, the most excellent order of the Pearl of Africa, the Grand Master. While Her Highness has been given the excellent order of the Grand Commander. These are wonderful civilian awards that have been given. This is a day for all of us to celebrate, one that we'll remember and marked well in history. After the event, there will be refreshments given to us all, and that will happen expeditiously.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for joining us for this momentous occasion, during which we have witnessed the inauguration of our University Center, students' housing, and the start of construction of the Aga Khan University Hospital, Kampala.
Ladies and gentlemen, the presidential convoy has departed, and that will be followed by His Highness's convocation as well. We thank you all very much for your time and attention. We have a wonderful reception for you to the right of the tent. It'll be at the right of the tent. This has been put out for your honor. This is for your honor, ladies and gentlemen, to the right of the tent, after which other events will take place. Our online audience, once again, thank you so very much for joining us on your mobile phones, on your screens, on your tablets from across the world. And though we have been physically apart, your spirit, well wishes, and support were felt. Thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, the event has officially concluded.